Listen to my story about a man named Jed. A poor mountaineer barely kept his family fed. And then one day he was shooting at some food, and up through the ground come a bubbling crude oil, that is, black gold, Texas tea. Well, the first thing you know, old Jed's a millionaire. The kinfolk said, Jed, move away from there. Said, California is the place you ought to be. So they loaded up the truck and they moved to Beverley Hills, that is, swimming pools, movie stars.
The Beverley Hillbillies.
Cabin way out back, honey, baby mine.
Well, you two look kind of happy.
You betcha we are. Granny and me's moving everything into the cabin down by the cement pond.
We've been in this mansion for near 2 years. Now we want to live the good life again.
Leastways for a spell.
Yeah, this is going to make things kind of awkward. I just told Mr. Drysdale that he could move in the cabin.
Oh, well, you just tell him Drysdale.
Yes, ma'am.
Banker Drysdale?
Yes, ma'am.
Wants to move into the cabin?
Well, leastways for a spell.
What in tarnation for?
Well, I didn't figure it was my place to ask, but I reckon he's got a good reason.
Because my wife has arranged to have this cabin torn down and carted away.
But she's gone to Boston. Why not just cancel the arrangement?
I don't know who's coming or when, but I do know the law. If the cabin is occupied, they can't touch it.
But, Chief, the logical person to occupy this cabin is Granny.
Very funny. Do you see that double-barreled 12-gauge scatter gun?
Yes.
Granny would scatter those wreckers before they could pick up a crowbar. And the city of Beverly Hills takes a dim view of shootouts.
Well, what about Mr. Clampett or Jethro?
I don't want the Clampets to know what a fink my wife is.
Chief, occupying this cabin for several days or nights would be an arduous ordeal for one accustomed to the comforts of city living.
I'm not worried.
There's no electricity, no running water, no heat except the open fireplace, no comforts of any kind.
Stop worrying. You'll do fine.
Chief, I am but a frail woman.
There's no such thing as a frail woman. Whoever named you the weaker sex must be the same idiot who said money can't buy happiness. Okay, you win. I'll stay here. I'm only a bank president with hundreds of employees depending on him. My health and welfare are not important.
Mr. Drysdale, you know I have never refused you any reasonable request. I have always been a loyal and
Forget
faithful...
it. Chopping wood for this fireplace will probably be good exercise.
That's true. Chopping wood is considered very beneficial for the health.
Sort of like swinging a golf club.
Exactly. Promotes deep breathing, muscular coordination, and a keen eye.
Okay, you win. Just enough for tonight.
Chief, you don't expect me to...
Now, you're not going to let me down again, are you?
No, Chief. I'll do it.
Good girl.
Mr. Drysdale, Granny just wants you to know that if you want to stay here tonight, it's all right with her. Ain't that right, Granny?
That's right. You can stay here just as long as you like.
Well, thank you, Granny.
That's like Jed says. But me, I want to know what you're up to.
Granny.
Did you and the missus have a spat?
Mr. Drysdale, in case you need anything, anything we can do to make you comfortable, just holler.
I'll do that.
Jethro, dear boy, you have come to my rescue as a knight of old. And now the right is yours to claim a reward.
Oh, shucks, I couldn't take no money from you, Miss Jane.
Money was not what I had in mind. I was offering you a kiss.
Right out here in the open where everybody can see us?
You have a point there. Here are the keys to Mr. Drysdale's limousine. It is parked in his driveway, and he will not be using it again today. Does this suggest a way in which you might claim your reward?
It sure does. I like driving even better than kissing.
That boy's like a magnificent lighthouse, tall, strong, and sturdy. If only his beacon weren't so dim.
Just heard Jethro yelling. Anything wrong?
No, just youthful exuberance.
Well, I'll do that for you, Miss Jane.
Oh, thank you.
Miss Jane, why is Mr. Drysdale wanting to spend the night in the cabin?
Oh, he doesn't want to. It's just that his wife has forced him to. You see, she made arrangements for this Homewrecker to... Oh, I shouldn't have said that. Mr. Drysdale will be furious.
We'll help him fight.
No, please, Granny. He doesn't want you to get involved. Don't tell him I said anything.
But my shotgun's in the cabin there.
No, Granny, please. Mr. Drysdale knows the law. He knows how to handle the situation.
So do I, with buckshot.
I promise you he won't do anything.
Well, Mr. Drysdale, I reckon you're all set. That is, if you're still sure you want to spend the night here.
I'm sure, and thank you very much.
You'd be much more comfortable up at our mansion. Then we could sit a while and you could tell me your trouble, if you got any. And I kind of think you have.
What do you mean?
Nothing. I ain't heard nothing. If that varmint shows up tonight, use my shotgun on him.
What varmint?
Randy, are you pestering Mr. Drysdale with them questions again?
No. I was just telling him that my shotgun is handy in case that rascal shows up tonight and wants to steal a chicken.
Oh, speaking of these chickens, are they going to be here all night?
Yes, sir. This old plow's their favorite resting place.
Well, it's pretty close to the cabin, isn't it?
Yes, sir. That makes it real handy. If they get scared during the night, goes to squawking and yelling, you can just come out on the porch and talk to them. Call them by their name.
Well, he may. I kind of think Mr. Drysdale would like us to move the chickens.
Yes, I would.
Oh, it won't do no good to move them. They'll come right back to this old plow.
Well, then we'll move the plow. You run fetch Jethro to help us.
Yes, sir, Pa.
But, Professor, I've been offered $500 for the story of the Drysdales and the Clampetts.
I know, Jenny,
What a sensation it'll cause. Beverly Hills banker holds servants in virtual bondage. Entire family forced to live in tiny shack on his palatial estate.
Jenny, listen to me. Writing this story for a term paper in sociology is one thing, but writing it for publication is quite another. You can be sued.
For telling the truth? Professor, you were with me in Drysdale's office when he admitted he put that shack there for the Clampetts. He admitted he paid them no salary.
He can deny it now. And if the Clampetts don't back up your story, he can sue for libel.
They'll back me up. Why, if it weren't for me, they'd still be in that cabin eating dandelion greens and working for nothing. It was I who got them to shake off their bonds and move into the Drysdale mansion here.
Jenny, I was with you here, remember?
Oh, I'm sorry, Professor. I get carried away when I remember how arrogant Drysdale was about it, defying us to do anything.
Well, you did something. You got the Clampetts a new and better way of life. And you also got an A in sociology. Now, maybe you should leave well enough alone and forget about selling that story.
Well, maybe you're right. But as long as we're here, I would like to see how they're enjoying their freedom.
Yes? Oh, it's the young sociology major.
And this is Professor Graham.
Of course, we met in Mr. Drysdale's office. Come in.
No, thank you. Good to see you again.
Oh, incidentally, the chief was furious after your visit the other day. Meddlers, he called you. Troublemakers. Dinglings. He was livid.
But that's terrible.
Well, you must realize that Mr. Drysdale has been barraged with complaints about the Clampetts for 2 years now. He's battled his neighbors, City Hall, even his own family to keep them as they are.
You mean as they were? Their whole way of life has changed now.
Not that I've noticed.
What?
Where are they?
Oh, right now they're around back in the little cabin Mr. Drysdale put up for them.
Again?
The despot has extinguished the flame of freedom, stifled the cry of liberty. We must rouse the peasants to revolt. Come on, Professor, let's storm the Bastille. To horse! To arms!
The chief was right. They are a couple of dinglings.
Pa, Miss Jane says Jethro run off and... Well, he's gone.
Well, I reckon we can move this plow without him.
No, I insist that you let me help. I'm sorry.
Mr. Drysdale, I do believe we can do better ourselves.
I guess I'm not too handy at this sort of thing, and I do have to speak to Miss Hathaway before she leaves. I'll be right back.
All right, Ellie Mae, you take one handle. Granny, you take the other. Now pull. One, two, three, heave!
Come on, Paul, hey!
Drysdale has them working like serfs again. It's worse than ever. Stop!
Oh, it's the little girl that spouts all the big words.
And the sociable professor.
You shouldn't be struggling with this plow.
Well, it's hooked on the root.
And we want to get it moving before Mr. Drysdale gets back.
Come on, give us a hand.
No, wait a minute. Listen to me. Is Mr. Drysdale paying you to do this?
No, ma'am.
Of course not.
Well, we couldn't take money from Mr. Drysdale.
You hear that, Professor? The moment we left, he subjugated them again.
Where's Jethro?
He ran off.
Well, I didn't want to say nothing in front of Mr. Drysdale, because Jethro run off in his limousine.
Oh, Jethro hadn't ought to done that.
He's gonna get a whooping when he comes back.
No, he won't.
I say he will.
Granny, what Jethro did was good. It was an act of defiance. You should all try to be like Jethro.
Young lady, I don't hold with that kind of talk, especially in front of Ellie Mae here. What Jethro done was wrong.
No, it was right.
Now, Ginny.
You keep up that kind of talk and you'll get a whooping yourself.
I'm not afraid of the tyrant. I defy him. Down with the oppressor. Cast off the shackles of serfdom. Rise up against the villain.
Ginny, here he comes.
And we ain't moved this plow 1 inch. Come on!
Are you two troublemakers back again?
Yes, and we'll continue to come back as long as there are robber barons like you and a miserable hovel like this on the very edge of a $50,000 swimming pool.
That hovel and that swimming pool are both on private property, and so are you. Only they're staying and you're going. Now, beat it.
Ginny, we are trespassing.
Now read the story of the French Revolution, Louis XVI. Study the Magna Carta, King John. You too shall have your Robespierre, your Richard the Lion.
Hot diggity dog. You sure are more fun to drive than that old truck.
Jethro. Noble Spartacus, I hail you.
Well, I hail you, too.
I've come back to lead your people in revolt.
No, ma'am. I come back to eat. And fetch Mr. Drysdale's limousine. Sure is a doozy, huh? Wish I could take Granny, Ellie Mae, and Uncle Jed for a ride in it.
You can, you shall, you must.
Now, Ginny.
Drive it around to the very door of that little cabin and speed your family away to liberté, égalité, and fraternité.
Sure do my best, but I have trouble finding Anaheim, Azusa, and Cucamonga.
Wait a minute, Jethro.
No, don't wait. Strike now. Away, Spartacus. Fire up the torch of freedom.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm afraid you've gone too far.
How can you go too far with a beast like Drysdale?
You've got that kid so steamed up, there's no telling what he'll do.
Good for him. Come on, let's drive around back and see what happens.
You kidding? I'm getting you out of here.
Uncle Jed, Granny, Ellie Mae, come on! Come on, Granny.
Jethro, what in tarnation are you up to?
Hop in. I'm going to fire up the torch of freedom.
First, I'm gonna fire up the seat of your pants. Morning, Jed.
Morning, Granny.
Sorry I overslept.
Yeah, it ain't like you.
Well, I was down to the cabin half the night trying to help Mr. Drysdale
Trying to help him what?
to get to sleep. Man can't sleep with troubles on his mind. He has to unburden himself to someone.
You was trying to unburden him half the night?
It was slow work, Jed. He kept dozing off. I finally gave up. I wasted 3 pots of coffee on him.
I'll mosey on down there and see how he's doing this morning without your help.
Jed, try and get him to tell you about the homewrecker that's come between him and his missus. That's what the poor man needs to unburden himself of.
Granny, I figure if Mr. Drysdale wants me to know about the homewrecker, he'll tell me without my asking.
Not if he's as sleepy as he was last night.
Hey, buddy. Hey,
Come on, let's clear out of here.
Where am I?
You're in a shack that's about to be wrecked and hauled away. Come on. Hey, you better hightail it for the city limits. The Beverly Hills police don't take kindly to vagrants.
I am not a vagrant. I am president of the Commerce Bank.
Oh, well, we're glad to meet you. I'm president of U.S. Steel.
This is a real pleasure. I've got identification right. Where'd I get these clothes?
My guess would be the rag bag.
No, I remember now. My suit was getting wrinkled and Jethro gave me these, yeah.
I got work to do, so hit the road. Here's 2 bits. Get some coffee.
Now, wait a minute. Who are you?
A1 Wreckers. I got a contract to move this eyesore out of here.
Well, forget it. I know the law. You can't touch this cabin as long as I'm occupying it.
By golly, you know, you're right.
Put me down! Put me down! Put me down!
Hold on, mister. Where are you going with him?
What is this, a hobo jungle? No wonder Mrs. Drysdale wants this mess hauled away.
You ain't holding him nowhere as long as I'm here.
You tramps gonna gang up on me, eh?
Be careful who you're calling a tramp, mister. You're asking for a fat lip.
From who?
Him, that's who.
Let me have a talk with this fella.
Okay, I'll be inside. He can't do a thing as long as I'm in there.
Hold on, buddy.
Let him go. He had a rough night. Now, can't you and me kind of straighten this out?
What's to straighten out? Mrs. Drysdale got tired of looking at that old eyesore, so she called me.
No offense, but when he is dressed up and combed and shaved, he is every bit as good looking as you. Maybe better. Before you come along, him and his missus was mighty happy.
I didn't come along. Mrs. Drysdale called me.
You old friend of hers?
Never met the woman till yesterday. She saw my ad in the paper.
You mean you advertised a wreck home?
Have to stay in business.
If you ask me, it's a mighty sorry business to stay in.
Look, Mac, I've wasted enough time. Now, why don't you get out of my way and I'll do my job, huh?
I reckon I can't let you do that.
Okay. I'll be back. With my partner.
Who was that, Jed?
That's the fellow that's come betwixt Mr. and Mrs. Drysdale.
Big, ain't he?
And bold.
What you mean?
Well, generally a man is ashamed to be known as a homewrecker. But that rascal's got a rope right across his back.
You're greening me.
That ain't the half of it. He runs an ad in a newspaper.
I can't believe it.
You ain't heard it all. He gets paid for busting up homes.
Ain't there no limit to what these city folks will do for $1?
Sure as there ain't.
Did he leave?
Yeah, but he said he's coming back with his partner.
Don't you worry, Mr. Drysdale. We'll have to fight him off.
No, I don't want to get you people involved. Really, I don't.
Oh, that's what friends and neighbors is for. I'll go get Jethro to help.
Oh, by the way, when Jethro gave me these clothes last night, he took my suit and said he'd have the wrinkles taken out for me.
Oh, I'll find him, Mr. Drysdale.
We'll fight off them homewreckers.
Now, Granny, no shooting, please.
Buckshot is the only kind of talk them rascals understand.
No, Granny. The law is on my side. As long as I occupy this... See, I've got an idea.
Hey, how about taking my critters for a ride now?
Well, go get them. There's plenty of room.
Jimmy, I told you there was Jethro who passed us doing 60.
Shucks, this guy will do better than that.
Jethro, where'd you get those clothes?
Oh, these are Mr. Drysdale's. Kind of little on me. That'll stretch the wrinkles out.
Where is Mr. Drysdale?
Oh, he's staying in the cabin now.
Living there?
Well, he got throwed out of his house.
I was afraid something like this might happen.
Gee, Professor, I never dreamed they'd go that far.
I hope they haven't gone any further. Come on.
Jethro, have you been joyriding in Mr. Drysdale's car again?
Oh, yes, sir, Uncle Jed.
And wearing his suit and his hat?
Oh, look what you made me do. Granny's gonna whoop me.
Well, she'll have to stand in line to do it. Now get in there and get them clothes off.
Fella tries to do the best he knows how. All he gets is yelled at and a hickory stick, and pretty near squeezed to death in a city suit. Excuse me for living.
Oh, no.
Even I didn't think they'd go that far.
What do you suppose happened?
Too much too soon. I'm afraid you unleashed forces they were not equipped to handle.
Come on, let's help poor Mr. Drysdale.
Now, wait.
Hey, what's going on here? Unfasten that chain. Turn him loose.
All I'm going to turn loose is about a pound of buckshot. There's half a pound. Where'd you like the other half?
Never mind. Forget it. Mrs. Drysdale can get herself another boy.
What'll we do?
Call the police. It's gone too far for us.
Gee, I'm sorry, Professor. I'll never meddle again, I promise.
Come on.
I told you his kind would only understand buckshot talk.
You were wonderful, Granny.
Thank you. Now you can unburden yourself of all your troubles.
I'm afraid I haven't got time.
You've got all the time in the world.
What makes you think so?
Ain't no key to that padlock. Been lost for 40 years. Now then, tell me, when was it your wife first took up with that rascal?
But now it's time to say goodbye to Jed and all his kin. They would like to thank you folks for kindly dropping in. You're all invited back next week to this locality to have a heaping helping of their hospitality. Hillbilly, that is. Set a spell. Take your shoes off. Y'all come back now. Here?
This has been a Filmways presentation.